Everyone thinks the oldest university is in Europe. It is not. It is in Fez, Morocco, and it was built by a woman. Siham, welcome to the Nifty Travel Podcast.
Oh, thank you so much, Alex. Glad to be here today.
No, you're most welcome. And the one question I always like to ask my guests is
Mhm.
about your earliest memories of travel.
Earliest memory of travel since I was a child, actually, Alex, because my parents' family were not based here, so they were based in the countryside. So, like, whenever there is a ceremony, a celebration, they used to travel and taking me with them. So I would say 1 year old, even like I've traveled. And since then, like we're going each year to celebrate each ceremony with our families. So this is my earliest travel memory.
Oh, wow. Um, well, I don't suppose you would have known then what you were going to be later on, because well, we all have different paths. So, have you always lived in Morocco?
Yes, I've always lived in Morocco and specifically Fez. When I started working in tourism, my path has diverse between Marrakech and Fez. However, my home city and my town is Fez.
So, tell me what it's like growing up in Morocco.
It's beautiful. I mean, there are so many things that are way too different, of course, from any parts of the world because I've traveled and I've seen the diversity of culture, which is beautiful. It's kind of open up your perspective. So I would say childhood here is about being surrounded like with your friends, but from a different perspective. Basically looking into simple tools and creating games with it or making play with your friends and they're like acting in it and then saying, oh, I'm gonna be this one, I'm gonna be this one, and then see who's gonna take each part. So like childhood here is about being free, going outside, community is looking after you, like you're not on the street on your own, even though you are in your own, your neighbor is looking on the window and then checking on you, are you okay, and like he's like kids are okay. So like everybody is looking after everybody, which is wonderful.
Ah, sounds idyllic. So, um, what? Well, of course, travel wasn't your immediate interest. You've always, I have a sense that you've always loved languages. So, how did that come into being?
Yeah. Well, like personally speaking, I am passionate, a passionate person about travel. I love travel and I love exploring. Everybody was looking at me like since I was like I would say 4 or 6 years old that I'm gonna become a teacher. This is the path that everyone has drawn into my head. Like they were calling me even teacher Siham. That's my name until university. At that time, I took that path. I taught actually with Peace Corps. So like I've hosted 5 Peace Corps volunteers in a small village and I taught them our language, our culture for almost 3 months and the program was all 6 months. And when I got back, I've met like Susanna Clark, who wrote My Home in Fez, and we were both doing a volunteering workshop in the American Language Center. And she's the one who triggered this passion into me. She said, well, I mean, I'm not seeing you into teaching, to be honest. I'm seeing you more into doing this. How about if I'm gonna propose for you to do this and see where it's gonna lead you? So I've worked with a company, and since I started working in travel, I loved it because basically speaking, if I love traveling, I love planning, and I loved planning other people's journeys. So I found like a new passion in life for me, and that's what I started doing for almost 7 years until like COVID hits. Then I decided, and before even COVID, I wanted to take this lead on my own. But once COVID hits, that was an opportunity for me. So like I quit my job after 3 or 4 months, and then I took that road little by little, and I'm enjoying every moment of it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, it's nice to step into something you really want to do.
Yeah. Like, especially when you love what you do and you don't expect anything. Because when I started without any expectation. It's a journey from an employee to a founder, basically. Like, what's behind the scene as a founder was something that I've never learned or knew how to deal with it. But the moment I took this step, like while taking this road, of course, new challenges come, new wonderful things come, but how to deal with it, yeah, that's a learning path for sure.
But you not only started a company, you were. It was also a first, wasn't it? Uh,
Yeah.
you're the first, or one of the first people to run a company as a woman.
Yeah, I am actually the first woman owned company that specialized in culinary and luxury heritage tours. Until now, I am the only one. But I mean, I know that if I am using the only one, like that's gonna change in the future. Because the plan is not for me like to dominate. I would like to inspire others to take this journey. But since I started it at first, I went with the first instead of putting the only.
Ah, right, yeah, fair enough. But one thing you've always liked is hiking, uh, and that led you on a certain journey that you weren't expecting to have.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about this encounter you had with a local community?
Yeah, like I loved hiking. Like I am an active hiker. I'm not gonna say I am a quick one, but I enjoy like hiking. I enjoy not just reaching peaks, but what's beyond the peaks. Because it's never about reaching the peak, it's really what it's beyond it. What is the journey after that? While everybody wanna put like, oh, we've been here, I wanna see what's after all and what are you going to experience. So I've done in a 2 years in a row, 7 days trekking in the High Atlas Mountain. And what I loved about it is that I was in the in depth of the mountains and meeting locals that I would never meet anywhere, because this is where they live, this is where they grow their food, this is where like they're eating from their own animals, from their own food. So basically they're not exploring cities. There is no way for me to meet them unless if I am doing that hike. And like by then I start to love really like what the mountain hold for you, that simplicity of life, how people are viewing it, how there is no comparison. As an example, oh, like this person have iPhone this and this person have MacBook this and this. Like there is nothing like that. It's just life, stars, like vegetables, everything bio, enjoying the simplicity of life, and that's all. And that's what I love doing when I am like having my own free time.
Mm. But up in the mountains, there are very high hilltop villages. Um,
Yes.
how do they vary from city life from as wide as you can possibly imagine?
Yeah, I mean, like, I've seen houses on the peak of villages and like on the peak of the mountains and what's beyond. And I've seen people who've been walking, like, they don't have any mean of transportation. They need to walk 3 hours or to trek 3 hours. That's what I'm gonna use the word, until they reach out to the first village where there is life, not to the city, but just the village itself. So I've seen all of that, and like I've enjoyed it. And like from their point of view, like they like that simplicity. Like the only like challenges sometimes that they have is schools and things like that. But I know that our country is working like so, I would say, initiative in order to open up the roads for them and still not impact their lifestyle at the same time, which is important.
Yes, yes, that's right. So, as a leader of your own business, you got to meet an icon of the international business world, a gentleman called Richard Branson. How did that come about? That
Yeah.
must have been a very exciting day.
It is. It was an exciting day. Like Richard Branson owned here Kasbah Tamadot in Morocco, and that's located in Asni, the starting of the High Atlas Mountain, but not the starting of the peak, of the high peak. on the way from Marrakech to Emmeline. It's almost close to the village of Emmeline. That's the area. And when the earthquake happened, Kasbah Tamadot was closed for 1 year. And like Richard Branson has been great, honestly, in the way how he handled things because he's still like remaining the same stuff that he had for years. So the earthquake didn't affect the community. He wanted to do a lot of things to the community. It was him working alongside with the authority of the place at the same time. So after 1 year, he opened up again, and I was invited to the opening of his Kasbah Tamadut, and that's where I got the chance to meet him, have a picture with him, and also like enjoy his talk to the journalists and to the travel agencies who were invited that day or that night, I would say.
Ah, wow. Oh well, it's well, he's a man who has interests everywhere, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you like heritage,
Mhm.
um, and you pitch yourself as a specialist, and I see there are many different specialisms within uh, Morocco. I didn't really know where to ask first, but I saw things like pottery and ceramics and textiles. What do you like talking about, and what are the highlights that people you know should know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Morocco holds, I would say, a beautiful pattern depending on where you are. I'm always sharing with travelers that you're not moving from one city to another or from one village to another. You're literally moving from one tradition to another. This is the diversity of Morocco. The way how people live in Fez are not the same how people are living in Marrakech or are living the Sahara Desert or even the High Atlas Mountain or by the coastal cities. Every place has its own charm and has its own identity, and that's what I like about this country. So when travelers are here, I truly want them to peel one layer by layer until they reach out to the core of this journey and understand Morocco from this point of view. And in terms of activities, I can speak about a lot, but like the way how I always like handle it is when I'm speaking with a person who is like who want to travel, I'm always asking them the question like, what are your interests? What make your past travel special? Because this give me an idea about what they want, and based on that, I can recommend activities. My highlight or the things that I want to speak about is food. That's like the biggest thing that I would say. I'm speaking about it nonstop, starting from hosting food tours to farm to cave experiences to cooking classes to invitation of what it's behind the doors and just sitting with the locals and interacting and asking them questions, sometimes making henna for women, and even if the man is accompanying like his wife, they're both enjoying the experience because it's not about the henna. Like basically like you're touring, and like what you're seeing monuments and closed doors. So what it's inside and what it's behind, how is the life over there? So once people are invited, like the first thing is excitement. Oh, what shall I do with my shoes? Shall I leave them on or out? Oh no, you can take them out and then wear your slipper and go inside the home. And then what should we do? Shall we help in the kitchen? No, you're not supposed to help into the kitchen. You are guests as us. Even me as a local, if I am invited to another home, they're not gonna let me inside the kitchen. So it's not just about the traveler, it's part of hospitality. And then questions start. How this woman is living, what is her family, how she's spending the day. So all of these questions like start to be triggered, and it let them like see how life is behind these doors. So those are part of it. Also for people who love craft, pottery workshop, that's one of the beautiful experiences because from scratch you're building something and you are decorating it your own way, and then you're taking it with you as a souvenir. People who are musicians, I'm taking them personally to an artisan, and they create their own drum from scratch with the artisan in a private space. So basically they see how the leather is scrubbed, like that they're gonna use and that they're gonna wrap their drums with, how it's painted, how they're gonna make that pattern. They sometimes write their name, even like in Arabic calligraphy. So they're gonna take them with them and remember, oh, that was in the heart of Fez. And that's what like this pottery reminds me of. So these are the things that I like doing. This, like, it's not small things, but I would say things that leave an impact in that sense.
Ah, well, it sounds like there's a lot of depth to the journey, depending on what you like to choose.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's important.
So you mentioned food. Now, I think an important ingredient is spices.
Yeah.
Um, so, is there an opportunity to find out where the spices come from?
Yeah, I would say in terms of spices, they get an introduction about spices, all like the trades that happen to Morocco, the impact of it, how like I exchange spices from where it's come from, and what are the natural remedies as well. All of these, like they get an intro of it, so they understand it, starting from salt to like curcuma to ginger, cumin, like hot pepper, sweet paprika, all of these, and sometimes the eucalyptus crystals. I know that this is not a spice, but I mean, like, what are we using it? How we're using it in warm water? You're blocking it with your hand, and then you let the air come into your nose, and that's clear your sinuses. It's all of these that like we want travelers to understand and know. That's also important.
Yes. Well, it sounds like it's medicinal as well as good to eat.
Yeah. In fact, Alex, like when I'm leading like food tours myself, one thing that I'm sharing with the travelers is this. While Alex, as a person, is traveling and you're taking maybe with you a medicinal kit, like with pills and things like that, my travel medicinal kit is different. It's all about spices and honeys. Those are the two things that I rely on when I'm traveling. Those are my natural remedies. So I don't rely on pills. It's just like honeys, and we have variety, more than 10. And each honey is like specific for something. And spices like stomach ache, we're using like cumin. For like headache, we're using ginger. So each thing, like it's used for a specific thing.
Wow. Well, it seems like an experience for the senses, for your very descriptive words there. Um, so, are farms places that you could go and visit? Because obviously every country has their own staple, and of course one of the things it's something I find fascinating because you know we mostly see the end products in our supermarkets, but we don't necessarily see the plants that they come from, and sometimes the the surprises can be very big.
Mhm.
Uh, you think, oh, it comes from that. It
Yeah,
looks like this.
yeah, yeah. It's quite big. Like I've had travelers being surprised. They said, "We never knew pomegranate. It's a tree. It's coming from a tree. We never knew zucchini, like it's like from the plant as this, and that's how it's look like when you peel it. They never knew how chili is coming from. So like when they're seeing all of that, or walnut tree, fig tree, when they see all of that, then they understand. Like we are, I would say, a country that if we don't see from where our food is coming from, we don't shop. Of course, we have supermarkets and they are everywhere in Morocco. But I mean, like the way how we originally shop is seeing from where our products are coming. Same with the meat, same with the chicken. Like while I'm sharing with travelers, you're buying olive oil as an example by liter. We don't. We buy by liters, not just 1 liter. It's 40 liters or 50 liters, something throughout the year, whenever there is on season. And we don't shop from anyone. We shop from the farms who we know and farm owners who we know. Basically, they could be our neighbors or family members, people who we trust and trust their quality. This is our way of getting like food.
And of course, if you buy directly from the farmer, they benefit more, don't they?
Yeah,
Um, this is something that's happening more in the UK. People like to go to farmers markets because they know that they may pay a little more, but they know that the farmer will get more. So
absolutely.
it sounds like that's something you've been doing for a long time
Yeah,
already.
absolutely. Like, I would say, like, the more you engage with the people from where you're shopping, the more that you're getting quality. Like, it's not just about shopping, but it's about building that relationship, supporting that person, as you said, Alex. Even though you're paying quite a little bit more, but you know the quality that you're getting, and this is not a frozen food, which is what we don't like. Like, we buy everything per season because we know that each vegetable or fruit that comes within that season, it's for a reason. I wouldn't like look for a pomegranate if it's not the season of pomegranate. But by the time of having pomegranate in Morocco, everybody is eating pomegranate inside home. All the time that the pomegranate is within that season. Until we say, okay, we're full, we'll wait for you until next year. that's
Mm.
that's how it is.
Ah, fantastic. Well, on one of your articles, you described a particular kind of woman, and apologies if I get the pronunciation wrong. She's described as an Amazigh woman.
Yep.
Um, so, could you tell me a bit about her and why you talked about her?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, Amazighs are the first long inhabitants of Morocco. When I'm taking travelers there, there is always something special about being there with an Amazigh woman. I'm not sure what it is, but it's something I might even call it spiritual connection. That's what I would call it. Like, Amazighs are living the most within the mountains, and when I'm taking travelers there, like, she is laughing, like, she is happy. She is speaking in Amazigh, I'm speaking in Darija, our spoken language in Morocco, and we both somehow manage like to understand each other and what we want. They cook alongside, but I mean, people do relax in that sense, and I love that. I truly love that. Like, when travelers are having that kind of experience, that's why I'm always making sure, or at least recommending highly on the phone or via Zoom when I'm meeting travelers, not to miss this experience and try to include it as much as possible. Unless if their time doesn't permit, then we have an alternative. Like, way, if it's not in the high Atlas mountain, we have the middle Atlas mountain, so we can definitely make it happen. And once people, as I shared, like, are there, like, something truly shift, that's what I would say.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I get the impression that bread is a very important staple,
Mhm.
that it's actually part of conversation, not just for eating.
Yeah, well, I mean, bread is so sacred in Morocco. The reason why, because in the past it saved us from hunger. That's why. So basically, if I am walking and I'm seeing a piece of bread on the ground, I will take it, kiss it, and put it on a wall for the birds to eat it or any animals to eat it. But I would never let anyone step on it. Like, it's actually, it will break my heart if I'm gonna ignore it and walk. This is the effect of bread in our culture. Also, I would never throw the bread in garbage with the garbage. I will always put it in a separate bag on its own and put it aside. Like, in the Medina, we have local bakeries. The Medina, it's the old district. It's the 1000, as an example, 200 years old. So within that place, we have a lot of local bakeries where the community are taking their bread there, but it doesn't mean that they don't have ovens anymore inside their home. Each family has its own oven. However, what people are after is the smell of the wood that the local bakery gives to our bread. And there is something beautiful that happens, like, in the Medina. Let's say I am a woman, I'm living on my own, there is nobody to take the bread on my behalf to the local bakery. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make bread, because this is what women do. They make bread every day, that it's gonna be enough for lunch, dinner, and the following breakfast. Then on the morning, they're making new bread. And depending on the family member, I will put like the breads, like part, like the bread pieces. So let's say I prepare the bread. I'm just gonna take it outside of my home and leave the tray of the bread on its own. Then someone will be walking from the neighbor, carry my bread, and take it to the local bakery. And then say to the local bakery, oh, this bread belongs, as an example, to Siham, our neighbor. And then by the time I'll be able to go and grab my bread, I will pay the local bakery and bring the bread like back home. So this is something that happens already in the Medina, and I love that whenever like I'm seeing it.
Ah, it sounds very traditional and been going on a very long time.
Yeah.
Um, you mentioned mint tea. Is that a very popular drink?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Menti is popular drink everywhere in Morocco. There is no time of drinking tea. Each time is drinking tea. Right now, I can drink like a glass of tea, and I'm not gonna use the word cup because we're drinking our tea in glasses. Like after 1 hour or so, if someone say, "Oh, how about a glass of tea?" I would sit and have another glass of tea. This is like the importance of tea in our life. And what I always like to share with travelers or listeners, like tea, mint tea is not the only tea that we have in Morocco. We have other types. We have tea with herbs, and we have even personalized your own tea. So you can mix tea with verbena, lemon verbena, sage, absinthe plant, but not the absinthe weed. Like there are different parts that you can put it there. Spearmint, peppermint, and that's gonna give you like an explosions of flavors, wonderful flavors, right to your mouth when you're like having tea with herbs. And I love for travelers to try the varieties because I know the mint tea is what it's advertised and it is actually what it's generalized in Morocco. But it doesn't mean inside our homes it's the only tea that we have.
Mm. Well, I remember drinking tea in the country of Thailand,
Yeah.
and I was very taken with ginger tea. It was
Mhm.
like having liquid biscuits.
Yeah. Yeah, you can actually add spices to tea. I would say the most spices that are added in our tea would be, or like herbs, star anise, saffron. That's also like saffron petals. You can add them to your tea. Uh, and I would say that's it. Those are the two things that we add them. Ginger, if we are sick, then we're adding ginger to our tea. So ginger in our head, it's like for natural remedies the most.
Ah, well, I shall be fit all the time then.
Yeah.
Now, one thing
Mhm.
I think you like uh, to help people with is to empower more women to travel. So,
Yeah.
have you identified this as a growing market uh, for women in particular who'd like to travel on their own?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, for me to take this journey and travel on my own, like, as a woman living in Morocco, it wasn't that easy. Like, with my parents, with our tradition, with our culture, like, and this is me in college, like in high school, not Morocco right now. Morocco right now has developed a lot. So women do travel on their own, they travel abroad. But in the past, just the idea to have, I would say, a woman who is really like into culture and tradition inside a cafe was something that it's like not like acceptable. You cannot sit in a cafe as a woman. So like all of these things, like I've tried my best to convince my parents, and it took me of course a while. And through what I've experienced, I wanted really like women to be encouraged and travel and just explore. Like the more you travel, the more you open up, the more your perspective like open up as well. And empowering women, it doesn't mean just empowering women who are living abroad, because they are already empowered. They are way much more advanced than us in Morocco, like to be honest. However, I would like to empower women here in Morocco. And by those women who are coming from different parts of the countries, they are already an example, leaders to others here in Morocco. Because who are they connected to? They're connected to women inside their homes. They connected to women who are doing a craft. So like the women can like really ask questions. It's not just about the traveler coming here and exploring, but it's about an exchange. If you don't like go to that exchange, then you're not traveling. Like I don't just like let the travelers ask the question, but I want like the women, the Moroccan women ask questions to travelers. So they both empower each other and impact each other. and then encourage each other. And in terms of an impact, like I'm always careful about that because I know it's not about like empowering women to rebel. That's not like the point. Or honestly empower the women to say no to their husbands or no to their families. It's more about taking it step by step and coming to an agreement to find their like own freedom, but in a nice way, in a nice manner. If we are affecting families in a bad way, that's not my target. And I'm always making sure that after each travel coming and visiting, that I'm giving a call or even meeting that woman and sitting and seeing how things are going. Because if we're not following up, things like I'm not like we're not gonna be sure or like standing for what we are saying or what we are voicing from the first place.
But confidence to be
Mhm.
able to go traveling is a really important aspect of it, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Like I have found, honestly, like in terms of my travel, like I'm focusing on B2C and then I'm having business to business. Business to business are the ones who are bringing women traveling together as groups. And I'm gonna like lead for the first time, like next year, or I would say by 2027, maybe, like the first women culinary trip that I'm gonna like host myself. However, like for the women who are coming, traveling with each other, they do feel confident with traveling to each other instead of traveling solo. And I've had a woman who like traveled solo here in Morocco for 18 days, exploring Morocco from north to south, like through the Sahara Desert. And I would say that she loved every day because she wasn't on her own. Like when I have a woman, I'm always trying to make sure that we have a driver at disposal. That's important. We're having female guides whenever possible. We're having activities on the day that she can explore, enjoy, and meals that are arranged in a nice way. And that's keep like the like I would say the schedule not so busy, but I mean like there is something to do within the day and the same time relax when there is a chance to relax. And like she like it. So I have two types of travelers. Ones who wanna travel with a group like and build confidence within the group, and others who are like confident and want to travel and experience the country on their own as well.
Yes, yes. Well, it's important to know the difference for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you about how local communities benefit from tourists uh, visiting. Um,
Mhm.
the communities get both financial and social interaction. How do you ensure that you know the benefit is as good as it can be both ways?
Yeah. So I like whenever I want to like start something new, it's the same thing. Like as an example, when I started the farm to cave experience, that's something that it's like way too new. It was never done this way. Like you will hear farm to table experience in Morocco, but not farm to cave experience. So basically, I went to this person who owns the cave. Like I've spoken to him. I said to him, "Are you interested in doing that?" as a starter, and then shall we try and see how it's gonna go. And then we started. He enjoyed it with his family. Like the value is not just about bringing the traveler, but the value is the community also like to benefit at the same time. So like in terms of prices, I'm always trying to make sure that like a good portion goes to the host more than the company itself. So they see the benefits and they will see the impact as well. So like we've done the first trial, he enjoyed it a lot. Like he said, oh yeah, this is something that we would like to do. And then he's hosting right now different things. He's not just doing like tourists for tour like for travelers, and I'm talking about travelers who are western, not from Morocco, but he's doing tourism with the locals as well because he enjoyed hosting a lot. Like at the first time when we started talking, he was saying, oh, I just want to do this, I just want to do that, but let's try it. And then the more he does it, the more he becomes encouraged to do more and to give more because he has seen how his community is benefiting. Basically, that village is not accessible by people. People don't know about it. It's only few people that goes there. Right now, I'm not just talking about a big volume that is changing the whole community, but they have a fair volume that it's actually supporting the whole community. And that's important. This is like how I like doing what I'm doing. It's more about people feel it and then appreciate it, and travelers feel it and appreciate it, and like the positive impact is there, and everybody is a win-win. If it's not a win-win situation, then something is wrong, that it needs like an evaluation and see what it's next to do it, how to do it right next time.
Oh, well, it sounds like the person you've been talking to has gained in confidence themselves.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like it's a lot, not just himself, his wife, his family in general, his daughter. Like all of them are contributing, and they're bringing their neighbor to assist with the food, making the food. So like it's not just an impact of one person, but it's like on a family in itself.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to talk about wildlife in Morocco.
Hmm.
Um, Now, people obviously expect to see camels, and
Hmm.
I'm sure there are great experiences uh, to have if you've never been on a camel.
Yeah.
But whatever wildlife can you experience?
Yeah, well, I mean, let me first like speak about the camels, because I know a lot of women right now are saying, "Oh, we have done the camel like in another part of the Sahara, that we don't want to do it in Morocco." Oh, are like, is it ethical to ride the camel? I mean, these questions I'm receiving it like through like travelers. So I would say camel riding, it's an interesting activity to do in Morocco if you know how to do it. It's not about spending 1 hour and a half riding a camel to get to your camp. But one of the ways how we do it right now is during sunrise time. We're bringing camel to the tent, and people are riding it for 5 to 7 minutes just to experience being in the sand over the top of a camel. So the camel is not getting tired, and at the same time, the women or the men are getting that experience. And if we want to do their 1 hour and a half, that's absolutely fine. But there are options of doing the camel riding at the moment. So in terms of wildlife, we don't have that much. It's not like we are South Africa or Kenya. I would say like on the way you will see sheep, you will see cows as animal. On the way to the Sahara Desert, you will see foxes. I mean, this is what you can see, but we don't have an active wildlife in that sense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I was thinking. Well, certain animals have been brought in, haven't they? Because people can go horse riding, can't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, horse riding, yeah, it is possible in the High Atlas Mountain, in Essaouira, and also like in the Palmares. That means in the surrounding of Marrakech. Those are the areas where you can enjoy horse riding.
Mm. And going back to the Atlas Mountains,
Mhm.
there are options for more adventurous people if they want to go biking or perhaps go on the back of a motorbike.
Yeah,
Um, is that sort of very dependent on the terrain or how easy or hard people want to choose?
yeah. I would say like in terms of horse riding, like biking, electric bikes, because we have that experience as well. Trekking, like because all of our activities are completely private, so it depends on the physical condition of our travelers, what the path that they want to do, whether they want to go like the hard path, the medium path, or the easiest path. And this is what it's lovely about the High Atlas Mountain. It can offer the all three options. And of course, like sometimes we have travelers who will say, oh, we want to do the hard path, but we don't rely 100% on that word. You want to do the hard path on the ground, and understanding what the hard path really means. That's where decisions are like truly taken. So that means that at that time the guide will take a decision. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna see if you would like to go higher. We're gonna go higher. So it's all about a conversation, and at the same time allowing travelers to enjoy and not like be exhausted or not be able to finish it or be upset, annoyed. Those are not the feeling that we would like to transit. We would like to transit to each traveler like joy, excitement, that they're
Yeah,
feeling their time like truly was benefited from that sense.
yeah, absolutely. Now, every country has an element of history, and Morocco has a tremendous amount of history. I was looking at some of the photography. Of course, you have both African and European influence.
Yeah,
Uh, so, and some of the photography reminded me, oh, you could be in Italy. So there seems to be a tremendous amount of uh, crossover. What
yeah.
sort of what sort of experiences can people go on if they're looking for history?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the diversity and the impact of each, I would say, community that came to Morocco is tremendous. And same, some of the places are looking like Europe. We can take Tangier, like it's looking like Spain, and it's only 40 minutes by ferry from Spain. So this is how Morocco is located. And also we have like Jewish influence in Morocco. Like you will see Amallah, which is the area where the Jewish were living, in each place in Morocco. And normally, like the Millah or the Jewish area is close to the palace, to the king's palace. This is how close it is. And also, like we have influences of French, like, and you can see it's obvious in our food, in our architecture. So, and the Romans as well. We have volubilis, that's the Roman rules. So, like each area you're going to or you're mapping, you're gonna see this diversity. But we're speaking about like the old heritage of Morocco, I'm gonna pick Fez, where I am from, because this is the 1,200 years old city. This is the home of the oldest university of the world that was built by a woman.
Ah,
So that's huge, actually. We have the oldest mental hospital, not only in Morocco, but I would say in Africa so far. Unless if there is something that I'm not sure of, but this is what I know for sure. And like it's a small area that you can pass by it and not even know it. But when you are with a guide who knows where to take you, then they're gonna show you all of these like areas. So Fez is home of crafts. Fez is home like of all things heritage, I would say. Fez is home of food, is the capital of food. And Fez is home of soul music. All the sacred music festivals are taking place in Fez. So this is what this city is about. Marrakech is the area of design, of art, of red color, vibrant red color, palmaries like surrounding, high Atlas mountain all over. And when it's the snow, it just gives this beautiful picture that even if you're not a painter, you would like to sit and paint what you're seeing, because what you're capturing with your camera is not the same as how you're seeing it with your eyes. And just going on the roof terrace and relaxing and seeing that view, that's something that it's spectacular. The Sahara Desert, it's another experience, especially when you're taking it from Fez to Marrakech. Because like I'll always call it the four-season drive, especially when you're coming during the winter season, which is this season. So it might rain in Fez, then you're going to the Middle Atlas Mountain, and here you are in Ifren, which we call it the small Switzerland, and it snows over there. So from rain to snow within 2 hours drive. And then after that, you might see some wind. So let's call it like I would say autumn even. And then once you reach in the Sahara Desert, it's sunny and it's bright. So like just during the day, you might see three different weathers, and then by the time you're moving from each area to another, the scenery totally changed. It's not the same anymore, and even the color completely changed. The tribes, how people are dressing, the food, the local markets, everything is different. Like from Fez, Sahara Desert to Marrakech. That's a once in a lifetime experience road in that sense.
ah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
So, but the seasons do vary a great deal, can't they? Because you need to think about what time of year
Mhm.
you're going to visit because some places could be very, very hot. Uh, but in a different seasons, as you say, it could be rain. And if you go up into the mountains, it can be cold.
Yeah.
So you, I guess you have to think about what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, one of the things that travelers do ask right now is, how is the weather like? And let's just like face it, I would say, we don't know. Honestly, we don't know. Because in the past, you used to answer with confidence. It's going to be raining in November. It's going to be snowing in December. It's going to be beautiful by March and April. Right now there is no rain at the moment. Like, the global warming has affected the weather massively over the past 7 years, not just this year. So like, we don't know what to expect. So what we are advising to each traveler, please check the weather 10 days in advance before you come. Pack like 2 seasons, I would say, warm clothes, and like sometimes like mid-season like clothes, so you'll enjoy each time, like each place, what you're gonna wear. But we definitely know this for sure. June, July, and August are the hottest months of the year. So avoid coming during that time. Unless if you want to come in a time when it's down or like tourism season. That's another like way of planning your travel, because we plan the starting time of activities differently and the hotels or the accommodation differently. We need to make sure that we're looking after this as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Plan ahead. Um, but of course, you said that you like planning.
Yeah.
Uh, so, are you ever spontaneous?
I am actually spontaneous. Indeed. Like, I would say, like, I'm always like spontaneous with my planning. Like, I would say, the more I know about the person who wants to travel, the more I'm able to answer with confidence what will work and what will not work. But I would never, like, I would say, force something on my travelers while they don't like it or they want to definitely see this. I'm always sharing and being mindful with what I'm sharing at the same time. Because we have some places that, because of tourism, they become extremely busy. That if a slow paced traveler wanna go, sit and relax, they're not gonna appreciate that time. And they're gonna feel that they've wasted their money, their time, their precious time on something that they expected to be like slow at a slow pace while it's not in reality. So like, I would say my role is just to like keep informing travelers what has changed in Morocco, because what you're hearing from influencers, what you're seeing on Google, what you're like sometimes hearing on AI, it's not the same as what a local share with you on the ground. Like, the changes, we see the changes. We see sometimes the queuing in a monument. Like, sometimes imagine, like, Alex, you're not interested in seeing tombs, and then I'm saying, oh, I'm including for you the fees of seeing tombs, and you want to see it out of curiosity, why not? But the moment you're gonna spend 2 hours queuing, will you appreciate seeing tombs of people who are already like dying, and that's what you're gonna see and then move? Other people don't, but we share with them. The queuing right now is 2 hours. Are you ready to invest that time from your tour, or would you like to do this instead? So this is like what I like to do the most.
Mm, yes, that's right. It's understanding the customer from well, the way you described. Yeah, I mean, some of us like queuing, and some of us
Yeah,
don't.
it's their journey. Like, it's their journey, it's their time, and the more it's personalized according to them, the more travelers do appreciate it. And sometimes, like, I do have flexibility to change things within like the itinerary, depending on how they are feeling within the journey.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Now, what's it like traveling around Morocco? There seems to be quite a few options. Um, presumably, you can fly and take the train, or drive a car, take a taxi.
Yeah.
Um, what sort of what are good touristic choices?
Yeah. Well, I would say like travelers who come my way, they always want private transportation. And I'm gonna explain why. Like the fact that you have a driver, it taking the hassle away from you from not understanding the system. We don't have like a system. Oh, here is the taxi stand. Here is how the train works. Things are in English. Everything is in French and Arabic, like from that point of view. And sometimes like there are delays on the way. Driving is not advised in Morocco, honestly. Like I don't advise travelers to drive, especially the ones who would like to explore and enjoy their time. Because like you're driving, you don't understand the speed limit here, how things do change, the road, and Google Maps doesn't work quite like effectively as Google Map like in Europe or in the USA. Sometimes they give you a way that it's the opposite way and you need to ask on the road for direction. So this is like driving what it means from a traveler point of view, not from a local. Of course I have the language, I ask question, I know how to use Google Maps. Sometimes it's taking me to Tangier instead of taking me back to Fez. That's the opposite direction, and that happened to me as a local. So I ended up asking question on the way to take my road that I wanted to take, and then I took the road, and that was one way, like to Fez. So these are the things that when travelers are coming, they need like to understand. Dealing like with taxis, especially for the ones who want to deal with taxis, we don't recommend them to go in the taxi and ask them turn the meter on, because what does that mean? Me as a local, if I'm asking them to turn the meter on, I understand the distance and I understand how much I'm supposed to pay. And if a taxi wanna do something, then they can do it. They're gonna drive you all the way around. You wouldn't know until you pay an amount. And I'm not saying all the taxis are doing that. Of course, everywhere in the world, you have good people and you have some people who benefit, like in a negative way from that sense. But what I would recommend from travelers is ask your accommodation. I'm taking this journey from this place to this place, what I am expected to pay. And then discuss with your taxi, this is what I want to pay. And then the taxi will take you for that journey. That you don't like that you will take that stress out. So this is the stress that it's taken when you have a private transportation. I would say all my travelers, this is their way of traveling. Flights, if you think about it, Alex, it's the same as driving. So you go 1 hour driving to the airport, you spend 2 hours before your flight, then you fly for 40 minutes, then 2 hours to go out, like out from your flight from the airport because of customs, then another 30-minute drive. While or like while you're driving, you're enjoying the beautiful sceneries of the country. You're not missing out, literally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic. Well, that's good advice. And why it's good to ask questions.
Yeah. Definitely.
Now, Morocco has a reputation for wine growing. Is that correct?
Wine growing, I would say from French owned perspective. Because if you're looking inside our homes, if you go into our market where we spend our times, every place is free from wine. Where you will find wine? In wineries, and you will find it like in restaurants that are allowed or authorized, of course, and hotels that have authorization of having wine. We have some hotels that are dry from wine. So we recommend guests to buy from supermarkets their wine and take it to their hotel instead of presuming that they're gonna find it once they're gonna arrive. So this is like another way. So like this is for wine. Like we have two wineries in Meknes region, one winery on Rabat, and I'm sorry if I'm missing out one. Like there is another one in Asawera, a one in Bnisliman area, and maybe one in the outskirts of Casablanca. But those are the ones that I know of.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, fair enough. So, a country with a long history,
Mhm.
how do you think both the ancient and the modern world are working together? Because I think one thing um, one thing that I've talked to other travel professionals about is that the Western way of life is in some regards getting further and further away from ancient ways.
Yeah,
How do you think things are working for you?
it's a paradox. That's the word that I'm gonna use in. So like things are changing quite massively. Like we have our tradition, we have our culture, we have my parents' generation, my generation. But with the next generation, I'm not sure how Morocco is gonna be heading to in that sense. Like things are changing for sure. And I'm gonna say if like if our tourism officers are not taking in consideration maintaining the sustainability of tourism, things will change and it's going to affect tourism at the same time. Maybe some heritages will get lost, but I'm not using like lost in translation, lost a little bit, which means reduced compared to what we are experiencing right now or what travelers have experienced 20 years ago. Because I've met travelers who came here to Morocco 20 years ago and they said, oh wow, this has developed quite a lot, it has changed. So you can see through their eyes how Morocco has been developed. But like our heritage, this is what I don't want us to lose. As an example, if we're bringing something new and we're saying, hey, we're having the newest way of transportation in Morocco, I would love for our country to maintain the traditional way of transportation at the same time. Like we have in Marrakech the Caleches with the horses, and there are like taxis, cars, like motorcycles everywhere. But people do see like the Calèche style, that this is how people used actually like to move from one place to another. In Fez, if like the as an example invented a new ways for like food to be accessed inside the Medina, I would like for us to maintain the carts and the mules so people would see like how things were like carried inside the Medina. It's not just gonna be like stories that are shared without an actual visual like vision, but it's gonna be people something that they're gonna see it, and the same time they're gonna see development alongside with it. And there is nothing wrong with developing a country, but like what I'm seeing it wrong if we're not sustaining our own heritage. That's the thing that it might lead like into losing a part of our identity. And that's what I don't want to see it like reflected in our culture in the next 10 or 15 years.
So talking about the future, then,
Yeah.
um, what what kind of tourism experiences or initiatives would you like to see personally going forward?
Yeah. Like I would like the most thing that I would like to see is uplifting communities, making communities accessible in terms of tourism. That's something that it's lovely. Right now, I'm trying my best to access different communities, but I know that there is quite a lot, and I cannot do everything on my own for sure. So, the more people start to do that, the more access we will have, and the more uplifting of other communities, like they will benefit from it. I would love to see more women in this industry at the same time. I would love to see more locally owned accommodation and like to be looked at as, oh, they are 5 stars in that sense, and they deserve that because they know what they're doing and they know how they are doing it at the same time. And like I would love to see a Morocco that's respecting like the culture, the tradition, and like for tourism not to affect it negatively. It's not about the quantity, it's more about like the quality. That's like important. People who will come and appreciate who you are and want to be part of who you are, those travelers like are the ones who are coming my way luckily, and those travelers are the best from my experience. Because what they want, they don't want like the Instagram thing influence. They don't want to be like, oh, I've been seen here, I've been seen there. That's not tourism for them. It's more about taking time slow, not pack and pack, and sit in a cafe with a local and have a chat with. That's like the simplest moment that you don't need to pay a fortune for it, but it's gonna be giving you a fortune of emotions. Like travelers come and enjoying. Oh, I've sat in a cafe, I've watched a football match with the locals, I've drank that cafe, and I've loved it. And here it is. That's a beautiful like impact. So those are the things that I would love Morocco to maintain. I hope that answers your question, Alex.
Yes. No, no. I mean, it's important to know the direction of travel.
Yeah,
No pun intended. Well, Sam, it's been lovely having a chat to you. I could
thank
talk to you
you.
for a long time. So thank you very much for taking time out of your day to
Thank
come and talk to us today.
Oh, thank you, Alex. And same here. I enjoy all the questions, and what I like about it, it's way too different again from any podcast that I've had. So thank you so much, Alex. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're most welcome.